Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video, we're going to have a bit of an update of the team as it sort of stands here on the 6th of February as I record. Also just a bit of a pump up for the second head-to-head league. So due to the first one filling up so quickly, a few people saying they were still interested, I have created a second league. So as you can see, the invite league code there is on the screen. So 207325. And if you want to join in on the second league, obviously if you join in the first league, the preference is at the moment to free up spots for other people. But in saying that, I know a couple of people did want to join in the Nuffs League with a friend or a family member. So if you wanted to do that, jump in the second league and then you can just drop out of the first league. Alternatively, I think I can kick you out, so you can do it that way. But if we still need a few more to make up numbers, we'll open that up. But we'll start off by seeing if we can get a few more people in the community involved. So just a bit of a plug for that. But I guess also like an update of the team. So when SuperCoach first opened with the team picker, I talked about a strategy where there was no value in the front row, so I was purely going set and forget. I'm sure I clicked the wrong page. So since then, and I guess throughout the preseason, I've come full circle. So as you can see, probably the glaring omission in the forward line is Payne Haas is gone. And I guess the reason for that was partly tied into, not being sure about if there's any value in the centre wing to start with. And, it was like, where can we cut corners? And I thought, well, maybe we can cut Harry Grant because we could start with Brayley and the Parramatta hooker if they're going to play 80, whether that's Lussick or Hands. And that would free up a few $100K to spend down back. But then after looking at it and thinking about it, I thought, well, realistically, do I believe like Harry Grant or Payne Haas is more likely to explode early in the season? And I guess just based on his ability to generate attacking stats, I just thought, I'd really be scared of starting without Harry Grant. And while, I'd love to start with Payne Haas, I don't fear not starting him as much. I feel like he's going to, pump out 70s fairly consistently. But, there's not much chance of him scoring 100 plus. Could be wrong. He could easily do it. He's the sort of player that can score 100 plus in the front row. But, yeah, just after thinking about that, and combined with the fact we've got 46 trades, like I know we've got 27 rounds, a lot of ground to cover, but surely in that time we can, make money out of our, centre wing options if they're not cheap. We'll still chase the value. And then, eventually we'll be able to bring in Haas, Big Tino, perhaps Fanua Blake would be nice, the big three throughout the season. So for that reason, you can see the hookers are still the same. Grant and Brayley, I know I've tossed up the Parramatta hooker there for a bit, but I think Brayley's still got enough value in him that we can have him if that's the way we want to go. We might just have a look at the trials, obviously, see if we can tell how the minutes will be split. But that's something we can decide down the track. So I guess to free up some cash in the front row, I feel like I had Totola in the last update video. It has been Liam Knight sitting there for a lot of it. So just looking at, cheap options that look like they're going to play. So, Totola's got a bit of value in him. Liam Knight's probably got a bit of value in him. Sam Hughes has probably been the most hyped up player in preseason from what I've seen. So he's going to get a spot. And I've brought in Liam Henry as well. So I did have Willison, but I've gone with Henry just because he's a bit cheaper. And there's been some comparisons to Jermaine Hopgood. So It's not to say that he'll do a Jermaine Hopgood this year like he did at Para last year. If someone's trying to call me, I'll get back to him. But I think anyone that has that potential is definitely worth a look. In the front row on the bench at 239k. Second row hasn't changed a great deal, although I guess to free up a bit more cash, I did drop Blore. Just not 100% sure on that role just yet. And speculatively brought in Dylan Egan. So Shane Flanagan came out and sort of suggested that he's in the mix for that second row edge spot. At the Dragons, that there's been a few names tossed up there. Um, Dan Russell was the incumbent last year. Tom Eisenhuth's been talked about in a few circles. The Couchman brothers are a shout. Fatala Marin has made the move. But yeah, he singled out Dylan Egan. And if we can get a bottom dollar cheapie that's starting on the edge, we're taking that every day of the week. So again, it's pre-season. We're having a bit of fun with the team. And this is just a different look. If we get the cheapies in the centre wing, Payne Haas could end up back up here. But we're assuming the worst in that sense, but assuming the best in our second row. Halves haven't changed. Cleary and Hines, lock them in. 5/8, I don't think's changed. I might have had Fainu here, but I've gone with KO Weeks just because I can't afford him. Can't afford Kyle Flanagan, so he's the sort of higher range of the two. But obviously, if Fainu looks like he's going to get the start, I'm happy to bench him round one as a loophole option, and then he'll start making money from round 4 after his third game. But yeah, the idea of cutting out Haas and cutting a couple of other corners is we can load up in the centre wing. So um, I've had Kiraz from the start, but after that I had Brandon Best in there. At 600k or just over 600k, I feel like he can, push up over 700k quite easily. Particularly if he lines up on that left edge again outside, Kalen Ponga doing his thing, feeding Greg Marzu who tries, scoring some himself. I think he could be really good value at that sort of price. And then I didn't quite have enough to get a Val Holmes or Ruben Garrick, so a goal kicking centre wing option. So Isaac Targo is one that's quite interesting. He has a good record without Stephen Crichton in the team. So if we can sort of take advantage of that and extrapolate across the season, 700k could end up being a good price for Targo. Taylor May, we've still got in the team. Again, we'll just wait and see what happens, but he should be in there, all going to plan. I've added Drew Hutchinson, so looks like maybe Failongo will play that bench role, which, we'll just have to wait for an injury, at which point we can probably just trade him in. But a bit of chat about maybe Hutchinson is going to get that halfback job at the Dogs. There's no certainty around that, but I just thought, well, if we can get a halfback in our centre wing at 350k, because obviously Cleary and Hines are locked in, then we'll take that every day of the week. Bostock, seems to be the one cheapie that's quote unquote locked in. Expected to play left wing at the Dolphins, so we'll put him in the side. And Ethan Strange, there's been a lot of good chat about him, but we don't really know what the Raiders are doing just yet. And then Ponga and Taff still hasn't changed, so I like Taff as the value option. Ponga, if we get a cheapie, there is an argument that maybe we could upgrade Taff. And, depending on what, like, if we can get an Iro in place of Tungo, then we can go from Taff up to, whoever we want, whether it's Paps, whether it's Tommy Turbo, whether it's Latrell, take your pick. But at the moment, I do like that bit of value until, I guess, some more value presents itself in the centre wing. But yeah, just a quick update. Probably won't do another update until after the first lot of trials. I'll probably keep playing around with it, but I'm kind of envisage there being great changes before we actually see some footy. So that's still a couple of weeks away. Um, so yeah, just thought really the purpose of this video was to pump up the second head-to-head league, but thought I'd throw in something for the people. Um, and I guess just finally, just a shout out to everyone who has got on board. So just ticked over 220 subscribers. It wasn't that long ago. I was pumped up about getting 200. And then since then there's been people steadily getting on board throughout the NRL preseason. So just a big shout out to everyone who is getting involved. Um, and yeah, that's about it. So as always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, get them down below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the SuperCoach content. Subscribe for all of the fantasy content we've got on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.